Okay, hello everybody. Good morning. Merry Christmas. It is the 25th of December. And what we're going to do today is just another Velocity Banking review to celebrate our debt-free Christmas, right? Because hopefully most of you are debt-free, although statistically, you're probably not, right? And to get started, I just asked the Meta AI to generate some Santa Claus and Velocity Banking type pictures. And what's amazing about AI in general is that it can do incredibly deep, thought provoking analysis of the human condition. Yet it can't spell. Velocity Bank, and there's no I in here. Like, let me scroll down. Bank, right? It can't spell, but it can do an incredibly thought-provoking analysis of the human condition. And then we got Santa with the credit card right here. And I was just like zooming in on this, like, what's Santa's credit card details? And then he like etched them out because, like, hey man, I could be a victim of ID theft too. It's like, but you're Santa, everybody's gonna recognize you. See how that works? It's crazy how easy it is. Even Santa could be a victim of ID theft. Remember those commercials? So it's like, you could be a victim of ID theft. That's why you need our $9.99 per month service to check your identity if it's been stolen, right? So even Santa needs that. That's why you got to etch out the information. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. With Velocity Banking Christmas edition. In fact, I was just curious this morning. I asked ChatGPT, do Americans struggle because of debt from holiday shopping, or is it not a problem for them? And look at this, financial stress due to holiday shopping. And if you want to read ChatGPT's response in a Christmas themed manner, just go ahead and click settings and go to speech. And you could see right here, it says Santa. There's a Santa voice. They got different voices, but they added the Santa one recently, and I hope they keep it. So let's go ahead and play the answer.
Many Americans face financial stress due to holiday shopping, as the season often encourages overspending to meet societal expectations or gift-giving traditions. According to surveys, a significant percentage of Americans go into debt to fund holiday expenses. Here are some key points to consider. 1. Credit card debt. Many people rely on credit cards for holiday purchases, and if they cannot pay off the balance quickly, high interest rates can lead to long-term financial strain. 2. Buy now, pay later. The growing popularity of BNPL services allows shoppers to defer payments, but this can contribute to debt accumulation if not managed properly. 3. Emotional and social pressures. The desire to give memorable gifts, host events, or participate in holiday traditions can lead to spending beyond one's means. 4. Economic context. For households already struggling with inflation, stagnant wages, or other financial challenges, holiday expenses can exacerbate existing financial issues. Long-term impact. Post-holiday financial stress often leads to delayed payments, damaged credit scores, and reduced ability to save or invest.
Yeah. Yep. So it is a source of stress. And here's one thing that I kind of want to highlight, buy now and pay later. You ever look at the annual revenue of these companies? Just I typed in their firm, which is one of the big buy now, pay later companies. 2024, they made 2.3 billion, a 46% increase from 2023. Oh man. And then you wonder why there's so many videos of people posting TikToks about how they're financially struggling. It's like, bro, it's like, increase your I mean decrease your expense budget, Decrease it. Don't go too crazy. I don't know what it is about the holidays where people just want to splurge. And here's the thing too, like every time I've gotten gifts from people, because I like to buy higher quality stuff. So let's say I want to buy a filter, I don't need a Brita. But then they think like they're doing me a favor by buying me a Brita when I want like a higher quality, maybe reverse osmosis water filter or distilled water or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I want the higher quality stuff, and then they go out of the way to buy me the cheap stuff, and then they say like, "Hey, aren't you impressed?" I'm like, "No," but that's why I don't really like Christmas presents anymore. But I liked it as a kid if obviously when I had money, but as an adult, it's like you got a little bit of the money, you know. You got to be a little bit strategic and not just spend money on anything. The way that I think of it is like Warren Buffett. He has all the money in the world, but he's not going to spend money on just buying any stock or investment. He's going to buy it on quality stocks, quality investments, right? Get your ROI. But a lot of people don't think like that. They just kind of buy anything, right? All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started for today. So what we're going to do is we're going to be doing a review of velocity banking without an I. What is velocity banking? Let me get ChatGPT to just simply explain. Can you simply explain? Because sometimes if you don't say that, it goes on and on and on and on. Um, velocity banking in the voice of Santa on Christmas Day, because it is Christmas today. So let's see what we get. And here's the thing, I actually don't like velocity banking, solely talking about it as like a way to pay off the mortgage, but let's just play this anyways.
Ho, ho, ho! Gather round, my festive friends, and let Santa tell you about a little Christmas gift you can give yourself. Velocity banking. It's a smart way to pay off your debts faster and keep more of your hard-earned jingle bells. Here's how it works. Nice and simple. 1. Use your HELOC as a tool. Instead of putting all your money into paying a mortgage month by month, you use a home equity line of credit or HELOC. It's like Santa's sack, flexible and ready for action. 2. Chunk payments. You take a chunk of your HELOC and pay down your big loan, like your mortgage. This lowers the principal, which means you pay less interest, just like magic. 3. Recycle your money. Throughout the month, you funnel your income into the HELOC. This keeps the balance low, saving you even more on interest. It's like Santa stuffing his sleigh efficiently to make the most of every trip. 4. Repeat the process. Over time, you keep doing this, paying off big chunks of debt until, poof, your mortgage disappears faster than cookies on Christmas Eve. Remember, this works best if you're on the nice list with good cash flow and discipline. It's not about spending wildly, but about managing your money wisely. Santa loves a good strategy that makes your financial future merry and bright. Ho, ho, ho!
The way that he says "ho ho ho" is so weird and awkward. Everything sounds good except for the part that you need Santa to be Santa, right? All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. So that was a kind of okay explanation of velocity banking. But what's velocity banking? It's just a debt payoff strategy where you throw all your money at debt with the help of a line of credit. Okay, so we only need two things for velocity banking. Number one's a budget, which we've done here: income, expenses, leftover savings, and then we do an expense breakdown. And what we're trying to do is get rid of all of our debt, right? So all of our debt, and then here we put our costs that we pay for that are not debt, food, gas, insurance, right? We put them in their own bucket right here. And we're just trying to get rid of the debt. So we already did requirement number one, which is a budget. Number two is your line of credit as your main operating account. So we're going to assume that we have access to a line of credit. And I'm just going to kind of show you here my line of credit. You see this 280,000. Let me do this, pull this up, $280,000 home equity line of credit. What does that mean? Like I just go to the bank's website and I could literally dump $280,000 into my checking account with the click of a button. I want to say like with a simple snap, kind of like Thanos, because that's what I felt like when I had access to the first time for like 2 months ago. But we're gonna have access to that, right? So what's a line of credit? All it is a financial tool where you can borrow money, pay it back, and then use it over and over again. That's all a line of credit is. Okay? That's all a line of credit is. You could pay it back and then use it over and over again. Okay? So, yeah, a credit card's a line of credit, and we're just gonna assume we have access to one. How do we get all these lines of credit that the banks offer and the credit unions? Well, here's the secret: banks don't like to lend money to people who need it. And I say this a million times, but there's always people who always comment on the channel like, how do you get a line of credit? And it's like you don't get it when you need it, right? But we'll just have assume we'll make an unrealistic assumption that we have access to a $50,000 line of credit, and I have over $575,000 in lines of credit. Would be a nice Christmas present for some of you to get a new line of credit, right? So maybe you go to the bank's website and apply, especially if you don't need it. All right, so we assume two things. Number one, same income. And number two, this is where we got our big boy pants on. We don't have any savings. So at the end of every month, right? You okay, this is what happens with me. I have money going into my checking account, but the balance started at 0, and at the end of the month, the balance ends at 0 because all the money goes out of the checking account, right? But we still have the same expenses. It's really simple. It's all about redirecting our money, right? That's all it is. And then we're gonna have an idea called cash flow that's very similar to savings. Okay, it's very similar, but at the end of your statement balance of your checking account, there should be almost no money or zero money in your checking or savings, right? That's just all what this means. And the first thing we do is we're just going to move some debt into the line of credit. So, one of the easiest ways to figure out which debts to move is using something called the cash flow index. And all it is a formula. You take the balance, 30,000, divided by 1050, divided by the minimum monthly payment, and then the gift spits out a number, and you just do all of this. And what you do is you take the lowest ones um, and move them to the line of credit. Okay, so let's go ahead and figure out how much credit cards we have. It's $47,000. And I'm just going to tell you a simple cheat code. Usually, the ones you move into the line of credit, if you can, is credit cards and buy now, pay later, those short term loans. Okay. That's a cheat code. All right. So let's go ahead and move $47,000 into the line of credit. And guess what happens here? Whoa. Just by doing a simple debt transfer, we literally went from $930 to $2,466, right? And then we put our entire paycheck into the line of credit, $6,000, and then we take our expenses out, $3,533.41. And then after every single month, the cash flow, $2,466, is the amount that the line of credit debt will be reduced plus some interest, right? All right, so let's go ahead and do that, and then we're gonna go ahead and calculate the next month, which is based on the previous month's balance, interest minus our cash flow. What's our cash flow? It is 2466.59, and then we got to calculate the interest, right? Interest is based on the average daily balance multiplied by the interest rate, 0.08 divided by 12, right? Mine's actually 7.75. Although I don't know if it'll make a huge difference, but let's do it. Actually, I'm curious now. 0.08 versus 0.0775. 295 versus 305. All right, so you save about, at least in this month, about $10. Not bad. All right, might as well save as much as you can, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and do this, and then do this, and then copy and paste. And then we see that in 21 months, okay, 21 months, it's all paid off. All right, 21 months. Oopsie. And this is 47K, 47K. All right, so now, after 21 months, we got to figure out what to do with these loans, right? So luckily, we have this loan calculator right here. Let me see if I set it up correctly. Probably didn't. 22,000. I just got to put the interest rate and the original balance, 55,000, 5.5%, and then 200,000, 2.7%. And all right. So now what we do is we put the current month in there. All right, current month in there at 21 months, okay? 21. All right? And then we can move this $15,000 auto loan into the line of credit, and let's do it, okay? So let's do that. So let's go ahead and move it into the line of credit value, and then plus 15036.43. Okay, so now our cash flow is almost $3,000. It's 2,089. All right. And we're going to do this, and we're going to increase our cash flow to 891.91, right? Let's go ahead and do that. And we see that in 26 months, that auto loan is gone. It is gone. All right. So 26 months. And then it is 47 plus 22. So it's 69K. 69K. All right. All right. So now in student loans, which is 20. All right. So now these are 0. And the only one left is the mortgage at 2.7%. Now, again, a lot of you would be like, well, why would I pay this off? Because the interest rate is so low, right? And that's true. It's not that significant amount of your cash flow, but paying off debt is essentially a guaranteed return. Although if you have like the equivalent of savings, let's say you sold a home and you had 190,000 in the bank, and then you had 190,000 in the what's it called in debt at 2.87%, simply by moving the same amount into, let's say, a savings account, like one of those high yield. Obviously that would be great, right? Like you're gonna win because you have a spread on the margin, or whatever you call it. You have a higher margin. I think that's how you say it. Anyways, so but the thing is this, right? Let's say we go to 360 months, which is the full term. We still pay a decent chunk of interest. I mean, it's not that much at 2.7, it's 92 grand, but it's still 92 grand, right? So if you want a guaranteed payoff, um, return, just pay off your debt quickly. If you think like, oh, I'm afraid to invest in like the stock market or whatever, right? Well, and I'm afraid to invest in it too because I honestly don't know how it works. I'm not that smart. But the good thing about like investing in real estate is you can control the price at which you purchase at, right? So if the market value of property is like 300,000, you can find properties at 200,000, that because they're in disrepair, right? And then if you know how to calculate things correctly, then you should be able to get a discounted property, unlike a stock. But let's just go ahead and pay this one off. So this is going to be what was it, 26 months, okay? 26 months. So um wait a minute. I didn't even do this correctly. I gotta do the student loan. All right. So 45,000. So here's the thing with a cash flow index higher than 50, and you got a lower interest rate. A safe way of paying off the debt is what we call the chunking method. So let's say we just move a portion of the loan into the line of credit, and we'll just say like $6,000. Okay. So let's just move $6,000 into the line of credit. And this is especially true with what Santa was talking about, or the AI Santa was talking about, the mortgage, $6,000. Okay, how long does it pay off that six? Does it take to pay off that $6,000? Oh, 2 months, right? So again, this is a safe, relatively safe, and easy way to pay off your debt quickly, even with the higher interest rate line of credit, right? And how do we know the math is because we got this awesome, cool velocity banking calculator. Okay, let me take it out. Here we go. Here's our velocity banking calculator provided by Renatus. Just a quick plug for Renatus. This is where I originally learned velocity banking from. This is where I originally got this calculator. And if you're interested in stepping up your game and not only learning just about velocity banking, but learning about real estate investing, financial literacy, all those things you say, like, well, I wish I learned this 10 years ago. I got it. So, click the Google form link below if you want more information on that. Just a quick plug. And full disclosure, I do get commission off of every sale of a product. So, let's go ahead and take a look here. And so 1.1 years, let's go ahead and, ooh, look at that. Look at that. That's beautiful, right? It's going to take us about 7, 8, 9, 10. Although the interest is really not that much. I mean, 10-year loans and 5-year car loans, they don't generate as much interest compared to a 30-year mortgage, right? But let's go ahead and type this in 1.1 years. 1.1 years. And so just going to do this 26 plus 1.1 times 12. So that's 40 months. Okay. So 40 months to pay off how much? 69 plus 55, 124K. And then this is now 0, and then we just do the same thing. At 40 months, we just type in 40 right here, okay? And I'm gonna just kinda type in the detail information again, all right? So now what's our, expenses? Our expenses is everything except for the loan we're trying to pay off. So let's just take a look right here. So it would just be 1,700, 1,700, 30-year mortgage at 2.7% interest rate, and then the payment amount, right? Payment amount, whoopsie, is 811.2, 811.2, and then I think we started at $200,000, $200,000, 200, and then the current balance is 184,899.84, 184,899.84. 3.8 years. Well, blam. 3.8 years. Remember all those velocity banking videos on YouTube talking about paying off your mortgages in 7 to 10 years? Yeah, I'm amazed because like every time I do this, it's like usually 4. And again, obviously, this is done as the last debt we pay off, right? We always talk about in other videos about how there's the most important thing is that debt payoff order, not just simply moving your whatchamacallit into a line of credit. And this is what I've seen on the internet where people talk about, well, you should replace your whole balance into the line of credit. And then we do that. And then it takes longer and it costs more, right? So you don't want to necessarily do that. Let's go ahead and I'm going to control Z. And, but because we have so much cash flow, right? It's not a big difference, but in certain situations, oh man, it makes a really big difference. And I got videos like that in other whatchamacallits, um, uh, other videos. I can't even think right now just because I barely woke up. But 4.3 years versus 3.8 and 10 grand. So let's go ahead and do this. So 3.8 years. So I'm gonna just do this 40 divided by 12 plus divided by 12 plus 3.8. So 7.13 years, and we are debt free, right? And that's 324K of debt. 324K of debt. Merry Christmas. All right, Merry Christmas. And then this is gonna be green, and we're gonna celebrate. And I gotta put on my theme song. Hold on. Every time we pay off debt, I don't know if I'm gonna do this for every single video. We gotta play some jingles or music. Okay, I think I got the theme song I want to play for today. Last time we did Sonic, but let's do something a little bit different. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it for today, folks. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We'll probably just do another. I don't know if I'll do another video tomorrow because maybe I'll just take a break and relax and not use the computer screen anymore, though that'll be very hard, especially in this modern society. All right, well, that's it. Have a great day. This is Korean Atlanta Mentorship, and Merry Christmas.